if we were to do a random survey, if you will, of 10 people, and you're trying to get to know them organically, and you say, tell me a little bit about yourself, and y'all can try this. 5 people, however many you want. 3, 5 people. Hey, tell me a little bit about yourself. How many out of those people do you think will actually at some point say, well, my name is Tom. I have a wife and 3 kids. And I work at Boon Boon. Like, I feel like at some point they will.
You're still going into the interview style, because when I say organic, I'm not saying tell me about yourself. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Sip and Share.
Sip and share.
Hey Henry.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
To what?
To sip.
Sip what?
I don't know.
I don't even know where that came from.
What are you sipping on? I don't know what we're sipping on. You fixed the drink. So I said, I don't know.
Since the drinks were broken, I decided to fix them. And therefore, I decided to fix us some 2020 Pinot Noir. I think the name of the wine is Mirasol.
So, funny story around this whole drink that we have right now. We live next to a Walgreens, and I walked over and I was like, oh, this wine is $4.99. And so I bought it. And it was pretty good. So then I bought another one and another one.
She brought home that $4.99 wine. I was like, what the world? And I opened it up and I was like, wait a minute now.
Hey, that's how I do. Whatever's on sale, I'm willing to try it.
Would you rather have a $20 bottle of wine and only get one?
I don't think that the wine costs necessarily. Sometimes I feel like it's just like with clothing. You don't have to have the most expensive thing and still look good.
So you can look good with the sheen. Or you can actually have the sheen of wine.
Yes, this is our sheen. Well, now Temu of wine.
Cheers. I said before I even sipped it. Well, I already knew how it was going to taste.
The smell. I had coffee before this, so
$4.99.
I got a lot going on.
$4.99, y'all.
All right, y'all. So not long ago, my husband and I were having this discussion because a lot of times I attend social events with him, and I told him I really hate when people come at you. They come at you the same way. It's like your name, you're married, your children, what you do.
The question usually be like, so what do you do?
Yes. And so I feel like when you come at me in that way, you're not trying to get to know me. You're trying to possibly judge me or put me in a box of some sort so that you can say, I know what a teacher is. I know what a military officer is. I know what a writer is. I know what a mother is. I don't know.
So I agree and disagree. So I get where you're coming from, and I do understand because it's kind of like people sizing you up. It depends on, to me, the tone and the inflections. Like, so what do you do? You know, if you get something like that, it's kind of like, wait a minute now, you're trying to judge me. But like when I'm in a lot of social groups and I'm actually trying to get to know people, I think I actually do probably ask that question in some format, but I think it's really for me to try to find something to relate to that person with, right? You know, if somebody, I say, so what do you do? Oh, I'm a police officer. Oh, okay. Well, you know, my uncle's a police officer and he boom, 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 boom. I think it really is driven by intent. Do they care that
your uncle is a police officer?
Oh, yeah.
You're standing right there in front of
then
them.
they might go, oh, was he city, county, state, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And now I'm talking to this person. I'm actually engaging, which may open me up for another question, a follow-up question, and we can actually get to know each other. And maybe next time I see that person, I'm like, hey, so how's your father doing? He's still a police officer? Well, I don't know. You know, just
and I get that when you're talking about relational things. I just feel like here's my thing, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. When I approach you based on what you do, I feel sometimes I could be devaluing who you truly are. I would rather open up a box of learning the person than to just gather information and make all of these thoughts about what they are or who they are as a person. I think when you do that, it can become stereotypical. It can become, like I said, boxed in. And so I like to be, I mean, I know it might be weird, but I just like to talk about what's going on in the environment right now, like wherever we are, make jokes, see if that person can laugh with me, in some kind of way. I like it to organically come out, like for that person to say, yeah, when I was at school teaching the other day, blah, 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 blah. And, just let things organically come out versus just pulling and forcing the information out of people. That I guess that's what I don't like interview type conversations.
Yeah, no, I hear. First of all, again, I hear you, and again, I don't disagree with you. I do know that human beings, most human beings, if given the opportunity, like to talk about themselves, like if given the opportunity.
Really?
So even the organic thing that you said may happen and you may think it's organic, if someone is, and don't beat me up, lawyers, I'm just using this as an example. If someone is a lawyer, there's probably a certain percentage of people out there who don't hide the fact that they're a lawyer. They probably want people to know they're a lawyer. So if they don't come out with it, hi, my name is such and such, I'm a lawyer. They may not necessarily do that, but at some point during that organic conversation, yeah, because if they really want to tell you, they're going to tell you. They're going to be like, yeah, because at my law firm or my practice, we boom, boom. Oh, so you're a lawyer? To me, I feel like that can be perceived as organic, but at the same time, if somebody really wants to tell you, they're going to tell you too. And I classify myself as an extrovert with introvert tendencies.
And
right?
we're not going to talk about that because that's another episode.
Well, I have to tell you. I have to tell you. Here's why. The reason I say that is because I actually prefer and thrive in conversations with more than two people. Okay. One-on-ones, not as much. I can do it, but it takes work for me to do it. So I like, let's just say if it's three people, to be like, oh, such and such is a lawyer too. Don't you boom, boom. And then I got them talking, and now I take some of the pressure off of me and I don't have to do it as much anymore. So I like the fact that you can kind of throw stuff out there like that to get people talking, and people inherently, honestly, they like talking about themselves. But I do get it though. And I'll say one more thing, because I'm kind of curious now as we talk about this.
Yeah.
If we were to do a random survey, if you will, of 10 people, and you're trying to get to know them organically, and you say, tell me a little bit about yourself, and y'all can try this, 5 people, however many you want, 5 people. Hey, tell me a little bit about yourself. How many out of those people do you think will actually at some point say, well, my name is Tom, I have a wife and 3 kids, and I work at boom, boom. Like, I feel like at some point they will.
You're still going into the interview style, because when I say organic, I'm not saying tell me about yourself. I'm saying we're in this environment together. We're enjoying the music or the food or whatever is going on. And I'm just saying, let me see some of your personality. Let me just conversate with you about things that are just going on or whatever, even about the world or whatever, before we get into trying to peel back who we are. And on top of that, now sometimes it can sound braggadocious. I feel like, and I may get thrown on the bus for this or whatever, I don't know, but I feel like especially people of color project what they do a lot. Because we want to show our value and our worth in society. And I think that's why I'm kind of an anomaly in that fact, because in that regard, because I'm on this journey to just know that I'm worthy besides what I do, and besides who I'm married to, besides what I've accomplished. I'm just worthy. And so it really gets under my skin when I'm in conversations and it starts being about what I did, what I do, what I've accomplished, those type of things. And I know the friends that I do have, I have those friends because we organically connected, not because I sat them down on some interview and said, tell me about you. Tell me who you're married to. Tell me this. You learn those things, right? And I know having a conversation in that kind of way is difficult because you want to revert to the questions. So what I do a lot of times is I revert to being a jokester or just joking around or something like that. And I've been successful with it.
Sure.
And like I said, the conversation is going to lend itself to get there. But I guess what I don't like is the immediate approach of, hey, so what do you do? Hey, so how many kids do you have?
I wonder if you put, and I'm putting these type of I forget what the label is for these type of jobs like doctors and lawyers and things like that. But I wonder if that is a smaller percentage of people that may feel that way. Like if there were 5 doctors at a bar and they all happen to be talking, would those 5 doctors be comfortable saying, I'm a doctor, I'm a doctor, I'm a doctor? Or is it just if there were 5 doctors at a bar and one person that maybe had, let's just say, a blue collar job, is it that the blue collar job person is going to feel uncomfortable just because of the job that they have? Or is it literally just, that's not what you should talk to people about? And then I also wonder too, what's the difference if I met somebody and I got to know them for the first time, and then all of a sudden a month goes by, and then 2 months go by, and I never knew what that person did, and I just happened to find out. Tommy on Martin. If I happen to find out, man, you're in the military? Well, I've been on you for 2 months. How come you never told me you were in the military? I would be like, come on, what in the world?
But does that
I think
matter?
I think so, because it adds an extra set of relatability. It adds an extra set of relatability for me.
Well, I want to go back to the thing where you talked about the doctors and then the blue collar worker.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that I'm intimidated in the situations. I am an accomplished person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have a title that I don't like to use, but
Doctor.
you like to use it.
Doctor, yeah,
You
absolutely,
like to
and you
use
should be
it.
proud of it.
And so my thing is, I don't want to flaunt. The reason I don't want to use my title is because I want true, real, 100 friends, people around me that want to be around me for me, not because of my education, not because of my connection, not because of my wealth, not because of anything that I have, So I think some people, it may be an intimidation thing of why are you asking me that question? But for me, it is just a fact of I'm Tisha and I stand alone. Nothing I do, I'm Tisha, right? If I'm going to be your friend, me having a doctorate, me being a former educator, me being married to a military officer, me having connections in this state or whatever, that I do, that's not going to necessarily help me be your friend altogether. Sometimes, in some ways, yes, but I just want to be I want to weed out.
Sure.
And find friends.
Here's what I believe right now. I'll use, because I love music as a whole, but I love hip hop music. I'll use J. Cole as an example. J. Cole is a multimillionaire. He rides around on a bicycle without security.
Yeah.
On subways, on buses. I mean, people catch him they take selfies with him all the time. He's out and about by himself.
Andre
3000. They're just out there being themselves. And you know what? Nobody bothers them. Like, it's like, oh my God, you should have some security. Nobody bothers them. He is, I mean, everybody knows what Andre 3000 does and who J. Cole is, but they don't have to say it anymore. It goes back to our previous discussions. If you have to say you're it, you're not it, right? So I agree with you there. But at the same time, I think I could sit and have a conversation with J. Cole right now and really get to know him, and he can get to know me, and I wouldn't be going, he's a rapper, he's rich. I think I can actually see through it and get to know him as a person. Then a question that I want to pose to you is this: what is the difference between, or how do you differentiate between someone saying, if God gave you a gift, if God gave you a light, you should shine it. If God gave you a talent, you should display it. How do you differentiate between refraining from showing your light or refraining from revealing your gift?
Okay.
And the gift may be in your job.
Yeah. Your gifting may be through your job, but your light is not. Your light is your light is just being a person who is filled with the fruit of the spirits, who's
Okay.
kind, who's self-controlled, self-disciplined, who's patient, who's loving.
Sure.
So
That's that inner
yeah,
character
so
at
that's the
core.
light.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
the light, right? But I will say what you're saying about not revealing your gift. Your gift may be a part in what you do. It may not. It doesn't necessarily have to be, right? Somebody, I like, for instance, I know someone who once was a cashier. Their gift was not ringing up stuff. That's not their gift. Their gift was caring for others.
I feel you on that.
Right?
Yep.
And relating to others and being able to motivate them. So as people came through that aisle, they motivated them. They cared for them in a way that made people want to come. I want to just check out with this person, right? So I'm torn between that because yes, I was an educator and I do believe my gift is in teaching, but it's not about the 9 to 5 sector of it, right? It's outside of that. I'm a teacher, whether I'm in a classroom or whether I'm in the street. I'm a teacher. And so you can still show your gift without saying what you do.
I'm coming along.
Still?
Okay. What you just said was, okay, you are an educator. You don't have to be affiliated or associated with a school to be an educator. I get that. But at the same time, you are an educator. So if someone came to you and said, hey, so what do you do? It sounds to me that you're okay with saying, hi, well, I'm in education, right? Because now you're still revealing your gift and your light to that person.
I mean, again, well, what I normally say is I'm a former educator. Right now, I freelance and do my own type of things, right? So that's normally what I say to people. And then some people try to dig a little deeper and dig a little deeper. And then it's sometimes inconvenient when what you do inconvenience somebody else.
Sure.
Like what I do, he may not want me to reveal because it reveals something about his life, your life, right? So sometimes I'm not as forward in saying what I do because I know that you may not be ready to tell people certain aspects of our life.
Sure.
Right? So bottom line is, for me, I want to open up the package of a person, not the package of what the world says you are and what you do. Right?
I think there's a balance for sure. I will say prior to recording this podcast right here, I love my quotes. I have a lot of them in my head, but one in particular by Aristotle is, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. And that's a quote that I have lived by for a long time. And before recording this podcast, I used to attribute that to my job and excellence in my job and excellence in my work. So I'm a little more open now, after having this conversation, to saying, well, excellence, may just be in my moral compass or my gifts and talking to people and just my day-to-day interactions aside from my title and my job and what I do. Second quote is Colin Powell, don't hold your ego so close to your position that when the position goes, your ego goes with it, right? And so again, the flip side of both of those things, I think, helps to bring that balance. And so I understand your point, and I think that it is extremely valid. You don't necessarily have to say, hi, my name is such and such, and I am in the military. I don't think that's always an opening line that you should give to people. And I'm exaggerating on that. But at the same time, I do think it's situational. It's situation dependent. Maybe sometimes you will be sitting on a bus or a train next to somebody, and you may end up finding something that a relationship that you never would have thought you would have had you not opened up a conversation that could sometimes lead to what a person does, but not necessarily all the time.
Yeah. And that's all I'm saying, people. I'm not saying those questions are going to go away, but I'm saying let's start trying to approach people with more sophisticated, more difficult conversation, because it's deeper to try to get to the layers of a person than it is to what you do. That's just surface. That's just easy. Those are easy level questions, right? So, hey, my name is Tisha. How are you today? So what you been doing this week? Like how are you? Just asking questions. And I mean, I'm making stuff up on the spot, guys, but you kind of get where I'm going. Like, I would rather somebody ask me where I live.
Where you from?
Where you from?
That's a go-to.
That kind of thing. And like I said, though it's going to eventually come out of what you do, don't make that who you are.
I like that.
Let's stop making that about who we are. Mm-hmm. You are worthy without the title. You are worthy without the job. You are worthy without the 6 figures. Stand in who you are, own it, and let's approach each other in social engagements as such. Yep. That's all.
And if you don't know who you are outside of what you do, then you should go find it. You should go find out who you are outside of what you do. If you don't know that answer.
And I know this episode is getting long, but I got to end on this because of what you just said. There's videos out there. Many people have done these videos. And one man does it. I think he's from Africa. And he does it so strategically. And he does a timeline. If you were to die today. And he says your job will be posted in X amount of time. Your family will stop visiting your grave at X amount of time. This and this and this and this and this will happen. A lot of us think that we're leaving our imprint on the world because of what we do as in occupation. It is what you do because of who you are.
There you go.
So let's just focus on that.
All right, then. What I'm about to do right now is kiss my wife.
What you do...
You look far. This new setup, you know what I mean? Got some 6 feet distance.
It is what it is. COVID,
Cheers.
Gotta make sure. $4.99, Walgreens.
$4.99. Have a good time. Until next time, y'all.
And share. Sip,
sip, sip,
and share. Sip,
sip, sip.
Share.
We out.